Hey, how y'all doing? I'm doing alright myself. Thanks for thinking. I'm titling this video Childhood's End. I lifted that title from a brilliant work by a brilliant writer, Arthur C. Clarke. If you've never read that book, you might want to read it sometime. It's very good. Science fiction. Very good science fiction. Another piece of great science fiction is Contact by the brilliant thinker Carl Sagan. And it goes along with the same theme. And just to give you an idea, in that book and movie, if you've never seen it or read it, the main protagonist, a scientist, is asked, what one question would she like to ask an alien if she could ask one question of an alien? To paraphrase her answer, she said that she would ask, how did they do it? How did they create their technologies and not kill themselves in the interim? In other words, how did they reach their childhood's end and surpass it? Because I kind of think that's where we're at now. We're at our childhood's end. Our childhood has lasted for hundreds of thousands of years. And we still basically operate the same as we had 60,000 years ago, 600,000 years ago. We still operate about the same way. We're territorial, we're aggressive, inquisitive, creative. But now, instead of creating spears and inventing the wheel, we create thermonuclear devices. We create the computer in which I'm talking to you via. And just fantastic technologies. If you look into it today, the cutting edge of science is beyond weird. It's fabulous. And yet today, 1 billion people on this planet will go to bed hungry. Approximately 40,000 kids today will die from malaria, diarrhea, and a whole list of other very, very curable maladies. And we allow that. We're basically not much different than any of the other great apes. If you watch how the great apes operate, if you watch chimpanzees, they move about the forest in tribes, and if they run across another tribe, they'll go to war with them. Yes, they'll murder each other. Howler monkeys in the Amazon forest every morning get up, go to the edge of their territory and howl, marking off their territories and trying to attract mates. Our politicians wake up every morning and howl, trying to mark off their territories and our national territories and interests. But we're very, very similar to the other primates. Except the other primates, of course, don't have the weaponry that we have. And the other primates don't tend to overpopulate as we have and continue to do. And they don't tend to use up all the natural resources as we tend to do. So we are approaching our childhood's end. Are we going to surpass it? Are we going to grow up? Are we going to give up the metaphors and look beyond them? Or are we going to continue operating with our murderous religions, our expectations of gods coming to sort everything out, or benevolent space brothers to come sort everything out, or even malevolent space aliens to come and allow us something to band together against, because we would instantly do that, and you know that's true. But none of that's going to happen. We have to solve our own problems. We have to grow up. You know, these questions are, to me, I don't want to make them sound trivial. I know many people are interested in them, and I'm interested in them, but Things like, well, what's going to happen with the monetary system? The dollar could collapse. The dollar needs to collapse. Nationalism needs to go away. We have to learn that we are a species trying to exist, not some isolated group trying to defend our little territory and kill the other little groups. I know that's not a popular sentiment. You know, people want to rail against the New World Order and the ruling elite. There's always been a world order. There's always been a ruling elite. Any tribe of primates has a ruling elite, and we're no different. But we need to be a little different. We need to evolve. If we cannot evolve, then what happens? What happens to any species that cannot adapt? Yes, they go extinct. And we're no different. We are no different. I don't know that I could adapt. I probably couldn't. I probably need to be extinct. I've lived my life extremely nationalistic, conservative-minded, very patriotic. All these things that are going to end up killing us. My grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, I hope, don't think those ways. Because if they do, it's not going to be a good world. 9 billion people instead of 6 billion, all thinking that their tribe is the uber tribe and having to live at the expense of other tribes. Because that's what we're doing right now. I know a lot of people disagree with these thoughts. It doesn't really matter. But I think if you get past the knee-jerk reaction, think about it. Can we really continue with the old paradigm that's brought us here? Or do we have to evolve or become extinct? I mean, I think that if you let your mind wrap around that a little bit, you might have some surprising conclusions. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know that. But I think that we need to. I think we need to think about it. Because we're getting there right now. I mean, it's not going to be a choice. I mean, we're being pushed to the edge right now. So, think about it. And comment about it. I mean, I'd like to know what you think about that. Because, as another brilliant thinker, Alice Cooper, once said, school's out.